How's it going, everyone? More tribes, more tribes. Before I get started, the game is free to play. You can find a link in the description to download and play it for free. That's my referral link. Basically, we both get bonus XP. Okay, now that that's out of the way. This is the last bit of footage that I have on my computer from before the new patch, which actually came out today, changing the way the whole progression system works, as well as adding a bunch of new weapons and such. So I figured I would get it up quickly so I could get started with the new stuff. I have not actually had a chance to play the new patch at all yet. I've just sort of taken a look at it and tried some of the weapons out in training mode. So I can't really speak to balance or anything regarding that yet, but I will get a video out after I played it for a little while. I'd also like to mention that I got a request last video to start making my commentaries a little bit more technical, talking about things like, you know, DPS and that sort of thing on the weapons, which is a valid request. Unfortunately, I'm really more of a casual player, and although I do fairly well in this game, I often don't pay attention to things like that. I just, you know, sort of use the weapons that I like and the weapons that seem to work for me. However, I am going to try and start doing that, so probably next video you'll see me talking a little bit more about the more technical aspects of the game, as best I can, of course. Anyways, today I am playing the Technician class, not Engineer, which I will undoubtedly call it several times over the course of this video. It's just what I do, having played TF2 for a bit. I'm used to calling it Engineer. But that's basically what this class is. If this were TF2, this would be your Engineer, but the main difference would be that as Technician, you have quite a bit more firepower than the Engineer in TF2 does. Your options are basically a submachine gun, which is what I'm using here, or a thumper, which is sort of a portable grenade launcher, which is very, very good indoors. I actually haven't unlocked the thumper yet, mostly because I like the submachine gun for the style that I play, which you get to see later in the video. It works better for me. Right now I'm sort of camping the generator room, not because I want to, but because I sort of have to at this point. You know, we just had all these guys rushing the generator at the very beginning, so I wasn't just going to leave, obviously. But I usually like to play Engineer on flag, or Technician, hey, there we go. Technician on flag, which is a little bit different, but seems to work for me. Anyways, the submachine gun here has an extremely high rate of fire, and before the patch, apparently this is going to be changed a little bit, but before the patch, very little damage drop-off, like for, you know, how far you're shooting somebody, so like, it does a pretty steady stream of damage at any range. But then, the upside to the thumper is that it can actually one-shot a light class, so if you get an infiltrator indoors, it's pretty much their worst nightmare. So again, both are good, just for different situations. I like to play outside, so for me, the submachine gun works a little bit better. There are several secondaries, but honestly I just use the repair tool because that seems like the most practical thing to do as this class. See, that guy there has got the thumper. Okay, so can I finally go outside now? The other things that Technician get are grenade or motion sensor. I'm using the motion sensor here because it is good at detecting infiltrators. However, if you do plan on playing outside, it's not that great. The main thing that you use it for is just, you know, you throw it in a narrow hallway and then you know when somebody's coming. So having it on in this match, not ideal. As you can see here, this submachine gun is just tearing the Juggernaut apart. And I think this, again, in the latest patch, all automatic weapons have been nerfed a little bit, which is probably a good thing, but at the time of recording at least, it's a very, very powerful weapon, and I'm sure it still is. So again, even though I don't camp the generator room, when your generator gets destroyed, you do want to go back down and repair it. I mean, obviously. Having your generator up is a very, very important part of winning much of the time. Thank you, Avast, for updating in the middle of my my commentary here. Very nice. Anyways, like I said, come down here, repair the generator, and then, you know, get out. You're not... It's the same thing as with other classes. If you're just camping the generator room and that's all you're doing, you're really not being that helpful to your team. Yes, you are being helpful, but you could be more helpful. And oh, that makes me mad. So mad, in fact, that I decided to just forget helping my team for a minute and just go kill this guy. You know, sometimes, guys, sometimes this happens. You're just like, really? That just happened? And so you have to go kill the guy. But this will give you an idea of how powerful the submachine gun is here. I mean, I'm a technician. I shouldn't have any chance against this guy, but... Well, he does decide to run, but it doesn't quite work out for him. And... Gotcha. So as you can see, this weapon is pretty dang good for even long-distance combat. And when I found that out, I was actually rather surprised. I didn't expect this class to be all that good at combat, mostly just to be for repairing things, but it's obviously not the case. And this is part of the reason I like playing Technician on Flag, because your shots fly so much faster than like a chain gun shot from a Doombringer that you can nail these Pathfinders as they come in and on the way out. And this thing can easily go toe-to-toe with the Raider's submachine gun, or even the plasma gun, which is pretty crazy. And there you have it. That's pretty much the reason that I saved this match, was because I melee killed the Juggernaut as Technician. That on its own made it worth it. Anyways, with this class, as with other classes, you know, don't be afraid to spend your points. I'd say more so with this class, because you're probably sticking around your base. You know, upgrade your crap, and while you're repairing something, just throw some points into it, because you do get points for repairing, so in general, that's the way to go. For that reason, I actually have Bounty Hunter on this this class, I believe. At least in this video I did. For those of you who don't know, it's a perk that basically increases how many points you get, rather, per kill. So you can upgrade stuff better, or, you know, call in more orbital strikes or something. Anyways, going back to Technician on Flag, again being what I like to do. In my experience, because of the submachine gun again, and the laser turrets, or portable turrets, whatever they're called, you can do quite a bit of damage to a Pathfinder on the way in and on the way out, even if you don't manage to kill him. So again, it's one of those things where, yeah, you may not get a kill from it, but as far as helping your team, it's a very, very, very good thing. On a map like this with a wide open flag stand, I would put, you know, maybe one turret on either side of the flag stand. And my general rule for setting down things like turrets and mines is to put them far enough away from the flag stand that a Pathfinder coming in will probably hit them, but at the same time, if he decides to fire a spin fuser shot or throw a grenade at the flag stand, it won't destroy them, so that seems to work for me. Again, just what works for me. This is actually a pretty decent match. I mean, it was sort of close, which is always, you know, more fun than just when you completely dominate the opposing team. And to be fair, in this game, when you completely dominate the opposing team, it's probably because the teams were stacked anyway, and all the good people ended up on one side, so I don't like to post those. Because again, what's the point? It's not like it has anything to do with being skilled or anything, it's just that the teams were stacked. And oh man, do I hate those guys on this map, that juggernauts that bomb the flag stand from the top of the mountain. I don't know what that guy was doing, but he's dead. Not to say that they shouldn't be standing up on top of the mountain bombing the flag stand, but man is it obnoxious, because then you have to chase them. I will, I guess, go into what I usually like to upgrade as far as structures. If you are playing Technician on Flag, you should probably be getting a lot of points. So you won't have to worry too much about choosing exactly what to upgrade. I think I'm going to get killed by a fusion mortar here. Yep. It happens. Anyways, what I would do, I usually try to upgrade the radar at least once first, and then maybe the turret that's closest to the routes people most often take. I usually don't upgrade the generator, and that's not because it's not important, it's just because other people usually have it covered. Like I said, there's usually at least one technician camping inside the generator room, killing people and getting points, so usually my team has that taken care of, but obviously you do want to upgrade the generator just for the extra help. If you get the generator up to Mach 4, you have a much better chance of stopping the enemy before they can destroy it. Other than that, it really just depends on how the match is going. Really, a big thing is to get the turret that's closest to the route people are most often taking, just because if they don't come in at a high enough speed, they will die if the turret's at Mach 4. But again, it's personal preference, I think, mostly. And again, as this class, as with Sentinel, your worst enemy is going to be the infiltrator that sneaks up to you and sticks you, because there's not too much you can do about that. But on the other hand, you know, if you are able to see the infiltrator and they're not very good with the jackal, then you should have a chance. But yeah, the jackal's pretty much your worst enemy. Jackal or sticky grenades. And with that in mind, I would say if you are repairing something, don't just stand perfectly still, because you make a very easy target for the jackal or a sticky grenade. If you are able to move out of the way slightly, at least you won't take the full brunt of the explosion, and you may be able to kill him before he kills you. Or that could happen, you know, either way. At any rate, the match is just about over. We do end up winning, spoiler alert, but I most likely wouldn't post a match where my team lost. Maybe, but I don't know. Basically, the point I'm trying to make about this class is it's actually very, very powerful offensively, at least in terms of weapons, so I would advise people that usually do just camp the generator room to try playing Technician on Flag, because it actually works pretty well, at least in my experience. And it's a lot of fun just, you know, picking people off like that. You get pretty good scores with it. So again, it's a matter of helping your team and getting lots of XP, which is always a good thing. And sometimes, you know, camping out in the generator room like that gets a little bit lonely, so yeah. Anyways, not too much else to say about the class. You have any questions, comments, things you'd like to see, etc., please feel free to post them in the comments. I will either reply or try to address them in a later video. And next Tribes video, I will be attempting to cover some of the stuff that came out in the new update. Just how I feel about the stuff. And trying to get a little bit more technical as far as maybe things like DPS, but more so things like, you know, why is such and such weapon better for certain situations, etc. Anyways, the highlight of this match was pretty much melee killing the Juggernaut. However, I do think I ended up with a pretty good score. And yeah, actually ended up top of my team. So, not bad, not bad. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching, as always, and I will see you on the next video. Until then.